use for forcible entry in case there is a fire and the occupants are not in the building. We have to make forcible entry in order to put the fire out or to effect rescue.
So what if there's an accident on the motorway, for instance, and the vehicle is like, is that the kind of axe you use to open the car?
No, not necessarily. So what you are talking about is what we call extrication, and we have gears we use in extricating. They are at the other side of the tender. So when we get there, you will see those things. So this is a suction strainer. When we are picking water from an open source, in order to avoid debris getting into the tank, this is what we use. We fix it at the end of the suction hose. This is a foam making branch. The foam making branch. Sometimes when some fires we use more than water, we employ the foam compound in fighting those type of fires, oil-based fires. And when we do that, you need this branch to give you the bubbles, what we call the foam. So this is what we use. This is one. We have others in the tender. So as we go, you see those ones too. So that is the sealing hook. We use it to peel and reveal the seat of fire in case fires are hidden inside the root. This is what we use to get to those fires so that we can extinguish them. If you don't extinguish them and you leave them, you might think the fires has been extinguished. You come back and they call you for reignition. I mentioned the suction hose. What we use to pick the water from an open source. This is the suction hose. What you see here is the structure. In case we rescue anyone, or just as you said, we perform extrication. We put them on this, then we hand them over to the ambulance service. Oh, over there.
Yeah, so it's like, most of the time in Ghana, when it comes to accidents and all that, it's like the first people you call is maybe the police or the hospital, but you also form an integral part of the extrication project. So it's like people should be calling you. Does that happen in Ghana?
Well, sadly, no. Unfortunately, no. It's not just a matter of we forming a part of it. We are central to extrication. We are mandated by law to extricate anyone who is trapped. The law mandates us to extricate that person or bring the person to safety, no matter where the person is trapped. So that's why when it comes to road accidents, people get trapped. We are in the house and you get trapped, you have to call us. But unfortunately, people do not know. So always we plead that in case of such emergencies, you call the fire service. We always advise them. It's not the police you call. When we get there and we need the assistance of the police, we call them. Okay. They also have a role to play. We work hand in hand. Sometimes when we get to scenes and there is no order, we call them to come and ensure that there is order. So as part of our checking, we do the checking before we take over, just as the officer said earlier. Now, as part of our checking, we have to check whether the tank is full, and it must be full to the brim. Otherwise, we don't take over. The water in the tank is what we use. So if it's not full, we don't take over. You must go and replenish, make sure it's full before the incoming crew will take over. So as part of our checking, we mount, we go up, and then you check whether the water is full or not. So as you can see, the fireman so he's going up. Yeah. So he's checking whether the water in the tank is full to the brim. Exactly. But with some sophisticated ones, you wouldn't need to go up there. There is a gauge to check. This is almost like a simulation. That's why they are doing it together. In actual, you don't perform checking together. You have to do it on individual basis so that if your crew member misses something, you'll be able to, yes, exactly, you prompt the person. So now, we have another wooden stretcher here. And the hose shoe, we have one over there and another one here too. You asked about the strainer, whether we have other strainers. So this is the metal strainer. And we had the wooden version, the local one over there. This is the metal strainer, which we use to prevent debris from getting into the pump.
Is there a life jacket?
Yes, we have a life jacket too. Okay, in case they are flood victims, then we have to get to them and rescue them. We use the life jacket. And then, as you can see, the cone here, the hydraulic tools. So these are lines. We use the lines to, we do a lot of things using the line. We use it to even, not catch fish necessarily, but we can use it to effect rescue. Yeah, we can tie a lot of knots. When we are lifting water from an open source, we use the line to tie a knot so that the gears will fit, so that we can lift the water. So we use the line in a lot. We have, no, we have 1,001 knots. We have 1,001 knots. Yeah, depending on what you want to do. We have the fisherman's knots, we have chair knots. There's lots, a lot, yeah. Then we have the chocks. This is a featherweight pump. Yeah. It's used to, you can, in case your pump fails on the scene, you can use it to generate pressure, so that you can use it to fight fire. But also when you are taking water from the hydrant, yes, you need, and the pressure is very low, you can also use it to generate more pressure. This is a power unit. This is what we use in powering the hydraulic tools. So with the hydraulic tools, we have.
Hold on. Are you? Okay, you can go ahead.
This is the ram. This is the ram, and it also helps with the stabilization. We have the spreader. This is the spreader. In case we have to create more space and enter and extricate. Okay. This is what we use. Then we have the cutter. We can use to cut the vehicles and create more room and access to the victims. The spreader also plays same role. Sometimes you have to open space so that you can get access to.
Is it only accident scenes you use this for, or there are maybe other areas?
The situation demands that we employ the use of these equipment, we do, but mostly we use them at accident scenes. Yeah, the driver for the day is also supposed to check the appliance, because it's a machine, it can fail. Okay, so you're supposed to check the appliance, check the engine. As part of the checking, they will engage the pump, whether the pump is working, because the pump is what we use. We need pressure in order to fight the fires. So you engage the pump to see whether the pump is working, and if it's working, then we can take over.
So if it does it, we have to go to the back and see it.
So when you get to the fire scene, after engaging the pump there, you come to the back, you open the main tank. This is the main tank. So you open the main tank. Please, can you go? Yes. So you open the main tank. So all these 4 outlets are active now. So when you open this, you see water coming out. So please, let me test it so that you see.
when we go for fires, as part of our standard operating procedures, we are not supposed to come back to the station without filling the tank. So wherever you go for fire, you are supposed to find the nearest hydrant or open water source, and then you fill the tank before you come to the station. If you don't come. You have to go to Tema to fill it. Go to Tema and fill it, or you don't come. So when you go behind our yard, even sports tenders have water in them. That's why sometimes we get a little bit agitated when people say that we don't bring water to the grounds. So as part of the checking too, you have to check our hydrants and see whether water is flowing through them, that is if they are wet. So what you are seeing now is the firewoman opening the hydrant with the key and the standpipe is what you are seeing the water coming out of. I earlier showed you the force spindle. If you zoom in, you see the blue thing over there. That's the force spindle I showed you earlier. It had to be there so that the key will fit, so that you can open the hydrant.
Looking at what a hydrant does, do we have a lot of them around major cities in the country?
We have a number, but in the developed world, how almost every stretch, every street, you see a hydrant there that normally you see fighting fires. You are supposed to fight fires from the hydrants, not from the tenders. So you get to the scene, you just lay your hose, you just use the water from the hydrant to the tank, then you fight the fires. So you are assured of an infinite supply of water. A fighting fire from the tank, it's finite, it will finish. You understand? So that's the challenge. We should actually incorporate it in community building, community development. When we are developing communities, we are developing streets, roads, we should add hydrants to it, because sometimes you don't even need a tender. All you need is maybe a rapid response. You get to the scene, you have your hoses and your branch. You just copulate and then you start fighting the fire. Okay.
Because I don't know, some of the times I realize, for instance, I want to give an example. For instance, Makola, and then there's a fire outbreak there, for instance. Have there been situations where you go there and you know there are hydrants over there, but you get there and you realize that, oh, it's not working? And then what do you do then? Okay,
so in case of such a situation, we have to call for more tanks, more pumps. We call them pumps. We call for more pumps so that they will come and supply the base pump, the one that got to the scene early. So normally maybe you can go to fire school. When that one finishes, you go to fire school to go and replenish. Then we come back and fix the base pump again, because the base pump, as part of our SOP, is not supposed to leave the scene. So the base pump rather call for help. When the help comes, then they'll supply the base pump with water.
And there you have it. We're taking a tour of the facilities of what exactly goes on at the fire service. For those who are coming in, they are checking in and ensuring that everything is up to code before they move out and fight fires across the country. And you know, there are always a lot of rumors, among Ghanaians mentioning the fact that, and they say it's a fact, that they go to fire scenes without water in the tank. Well, you've seen it for yourselves. There's nothing like that. If they perform these checks every morning and evening, and every outgoing team informs the incoming team, then you know that these rumors are quite unfounded. Why would a fire engine go to a fire scene without water? You've seen all the checks for yourself, and you know that is not the case. So this has been the report. We came here to the regional headquarters here at Kolebu for the National Fire Service. I would like to thank all of them for taking us through the processes. It's been a great tour. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Officers? I just saluted.
That was Jay Gabra at the headquarters of the Ghana National Fire Service by the
Kolebu, yes.
Kolebu,
yeah,
right?
the regional headquarters. Yes.
What surprised you most about your trip there?
A lot, actually, but I'd just like to touch on the fact that aside the rumors people keep spreading about them, and then they are facing a lot of challenges. Most of the equipment you saw, most of them are obsolete, they're outdated. So it's a clarion call to government and stakeholders to help them beef up their equipment. There are more sophisticated models around. So if they can help them get these equipment, it will help them fight the
So
fire.
we want the V8 level of equipment for the fire.
If there's a V10, yes, let them have it. Yeah, because there's a lot that they do that we don't know about, and we keep complaining, and there are challenges that they are facing. So if we can help them out, let's do it. They do a great, they are doing a yeoman's job. So yeah, thank you all for that.
Kudos to them. Maltiti, what's your biggest takeaway from your trip to spend time with an air traffic controller?
On what Jay was saying, before I go to the air traffic controllers, when I went to Qatar for the World Cup, I was amazed at the drastic difference. We are talking about beefing them up with sophisticated equipment, and I saw police cars that were V8s, the cars that our MPs use, and said they take it to the villages because it weather all conditions in the city, in town, at traffic spots. V8. So you can imagine what their fire tenders and their fire service operations will be like. Let's put that aside, because then we'll be going into resource and politics and governance and all of that. My biggest takeaway from mine was, I said earlier on, the discipline, the sheer focus, how diligent you have to be. Because I don't know if it's for me, and maybe the span of experience I've had working in places, I think that most workers are, I don't know if I should say, not so laid back, are not so disciplined.
The word is blah.
Like,
that's
say
the
like
word.
a densical, like me, but I've seen fewer people putting the cat to the horses and ensuring that they dot all the I's and they cross all the T's. And these people are even often told that, is it your father's
You're working
work?
too hard.
You are working too hard. Why? You alone, you want to carry the work and
But that
do
thing,
it
it hurts.
seriously.
It is
hurts.
hurtful. Because you want to work hard. You want to be proud of what you've done.
And you're supposed to be looking at young people willing to emulate that. And that's why we have all these award schemes that we give Best Employer of the Month and all that, so that people engineer the spirit of working hard. But so that's what the air traffic controllers did. I saw that they were diligent. You have to, maybe you're somebody who had a lazy attitude. You can't get it wrong before you got there.
And I guess you think about the consequences of mistakes.
When you make a mistake,
yes, that
what
is
happens?
not just you who's suffering.
Yes.
Families, not just people in that plane, but families of people.
Look at the plane that veered off the tarmac and crashed into Elwak.
Yes.
The air traffic controller that day, you are in trouble.
The
pilots, the people who were killed, who probably the air traffic controller said don't even have a passport, but they were killed by an airplane.
And I heard one of the pilots has not been able to fly again.
There's the trauma and all that.
And the trauma, just the fact that you're responsible. So so focus and dedication.
Focus and dedication resonated with T2 as well, the safety and all of that.
What was your big takeaway, T?
I mean, the whole thing, I don't think I'll ever forget this. The thought that has gone into keeping the human resources safe. Because we are mining, we are prospecting for these things. These are precious minerals. But human lives are even more precious. And so the thought that goes into making sure that things are done in a way that ensures that the humans will come out with the products that we are mining is a key thing for me. Because insurance is important. And when we talk about making sure that every life is insured, sometimes we don't have enough conversations around that. The mines take that very seriously, and it's something that we could all learn from.
Wait, hold on. So are you saying your biggest takeaway, you didn't bring any gold?
No. Because
0.5 carat.
No ounce, nothing.
Nothing like what Chelsea has on the league table.
So in the longer story that I will be airing on GBC News at 8 p.m. this evening, I did say, and it was a disclaimer in that story, that I'm not bringing any gold to Accra. Paul is not bringing any gold. Frederick is not bringing any gold. Jerry is not bringing. Frederick is not bringing. None of us.
Before people pitch camp. Yes. At your
But when are you airing it? When are you saying it again so we can see? When
so we
are
are
you seeing
seeing
the
the
full
full version tonight on GBC News at 8 p.m. A day with mine workers airing on GBC News this 1st May of 2023 at 8 p.m. on GBC News. Not GTV, GBC News.
So quick run around the table. Thank yous for starting with you, Tama.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Oh, no, but why won't you talk about your zoo?
Yeah, well, I'm in charge here.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, Yeah, all I'm saying is we saw you and the Lions. I'm just saying we saw him and the Lions.
Jay is right.
You are overruled. The plane, you don't have authorization to take off.
No.
All right?
You've been grounded.
Flight TT001 is cleared for takeoff. So, give me your thank yous.
Okay. I would say thank you once again to the Minerals Commission for setting this up, and Mr. EC and his team who sits with us every Wednesday. Thank you for making sure that we're able to reach Golden Star Wasa Limited, who opened their doors to us from Accra, ferried us all the way to Wasa Chimpim, where we filmed this story, underground for 3 hours. All the staff there were amazing. Everyone gave us such a good time there. We're honored to be a part of your day, and we wish you a happy May Day, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I want to go back to Wasa Chimpim.
All right.
They will send me on second May.
Flight JG001, you are cleared for takeoff now. Who are your thank yous?
Can I ask my question?
No, when we are done, you do your thank yous first. Your thank yous first.
So I just want to send a quick shout out to ADO2 Christabel Love Ama. She's with the PRO department with the regional headquarters. ADO2 Pokunana Quarantine, the Green Watch, Firewoman Jennifer Mate, ADO2 Janet Mensah, there's Alex Kenate. He's at the general headquarters, the main headquarters actually. Usually when we call upon them, they usually attend to us very quickly. And I just want to say thank you and happy May Day to you all.
Awesome. Flight MSS001.
Thank you, sir.
You are cleared for takeoff.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over and out.
Before you
Over and out, you don't say anything again.
Okay, let me finish. Let me.
She's a forward-thinking woman.
Maybe they were considering her, but now it's like, oh.
Okay, Alpha, Beta.
Delta.
I want to say a very big thank you to the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. Madam Ivy is the watch manager there. She was the one in the beginning of the video giving us all the details about what we are seeing and all the gadgets and equipment there. Also, Mr. Francis Ama Mensah is also an aircraft controller there. Air traffic controller there. Mr. Williams Amwako, also an air traffic controller. And these people were so welcoming, taking us into their space and teaching us all the ins and outs of how important it is to be an air traffic controller and control all those precious lives on the planes when they're coming and going.
I feel like if I don't also mention specific people, I'll be in trouble. So Gerard Boache is the one who got us. Because this one, you mentioned names. I've mentioned corporations, right? Okay. So Mr. Gerard Boache, thank you. I've mentioned Mr. Isi already. Mr. Shadrach Sowa, he is in charge of the Wasa Chimpim mine. And Justice Ampa took us rode with us from Accra all the way to Wasa Chimpim. Thank you as well. And to the ladies that went around the tour with us, Bridget, Gloria, and Selma. I mean, all of you. Because of you, I want to be a miner when I grow up.
Oh, yes, and I also want to thank the crew who went out with me. Yeah, because if you don't remember, the driver, the cameraman, the sound guy, thank you so much. Yeah, to all the crew. That was amazing. Yes.
So many thanks to the Executive Director of the Forestry Commission, as well as Joyce Ofori Kwafu, Forestry Commission, who made things work for us. Mr. Paul Ada, who's the zoo manager, Mr. Martin Apusinaba, who's the head keeper, and everybody there. Yeah. Shout outs to the animals.
Yeah. Simba the lion and his wife.
Yeah, Simba and Leila. Shout out to all the animals. Shout out to our crew.
Wow. And you named a snake.
The snake is called Kojo. Yeah. And shout out to House of Sedem. I feel very royal this morning. Happy May Day to all of you.
Happy May Day, everybody.
And we'll be going to Bolga for the National Parade.
One time. We're going to Bolga for the National Parade. You stick around.
Happy
this is
Labour's Day for
GTV Breakfast. Hey.
Out and out.
Over and out.
Out and about.